Hello and welcome everyone to HTM podcast 14.2.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much that's
E3
how we're
edition.
doing it. It's the E3 one. And for those of you who haven't watched 14 part 1, the way we decided to do things was that we were going to talk about all the league patch notes in one video, and then we were going to have a separate video for all the E3 stuff, so we could actually talk a little bit more in length about what happened at E3, and it wasn't going to be a 2-hour video. So for anyone who's interested in the first part, I'll have links and annotations to go look at that.
And in the first one, it will link to this one. And if you click the link in the first one to get this one, then hi! We love you.
How's it going?
Welcome. We're talking
Thanks.
about video games.
Thanks for using my annotations. Put a lot of work into them.
What you thinking about?
So-
games and stuff.
So many games.
We've got 4 sections of things to talk about. We're starting with Xbox, then moving on to Nintendo, then talking about PlayStation, and then talking about any games that are not limited to just those consoles.
All right, so I am up first, and I'm going to be talking about everybody's favorite console, the Xbox One.
Real quick before you start your section, any trailers that we put in this video are not ours. We're not claiming them as ours. We're just using them to best show the gameplay footage.
Yes.
Now you may go.
So is it a
everybody-
console or a punching bag?
Yes. The big thing about E3 has been Microsoft digging themselves a hole, and Sony laughing at them, and Nintendo derping around in the background doing their own thing. The Xbone, as I lovingly call it, is... There's so many things wrong with this. I don't even know how to sum all this up. They don't like used games. They don't like you. They don't like giving you fair values.
They like watching you.
They love watching you. The Kinect is mandatory. This system is $4.99 US. Apparently everybody else in other countries gets screwed over by this price due to taxes and whatnot. I'm sorry for that, but you shouldn't even be buying this thing in the first place. The Kinect is going to be mandatory. This thing has to be plugged into your system for the system to function. They have said that you can fully turn the system off, but I think by default it stays in a state of low power consumption, and apparently the camera only responds to the phrase Xbox on. So people are still suspicious about this thing. Germany has threatened to ban the console on the grounds of this being potentially like spy material.
Yeah, no kidding.
And yeah, the used games, they're not going to be a thing, except they are, sort of. They're going to be a lot more controlled. When you buy an Xbox One game, you put the disc into the system, unless you bought it digitally, and the game installs to the hard drive, and you may now take this disc out and run it normally. That game is now tied to your account. And if someone else were to try to take the disc and use it, they would have to buy a new license, basically, for like full price to play it themselves. To counter this, they have said that you can take games over to friends' houses on their own consoles, put the disc in, you sign in on your profile, and as long as you're signed in, it's fine.
Do you have to re-download the game?
I don't know.
Probably. Goes on a different console.
It might just play from the disc. It might make you reinstall again, but I don't know. There's a lot of things they haven't even like specifically said about this system.
I'm definitely not looking forward to the installing times.
They're not that bad on the Xbox 360, but I don't know like how much that changes from generation to generation. And you don't have to install in 360; it doesn't matter. The system requires an internet check every 24 hours. This is to make sure that you are not stealing games, pirating, or everything else they expect their consumers to do. This is changed to every 1 hour when you're signed in on someone else's console and playing a game there.
Really?
Wait, say that
Yes.
again?
If you're doing this on a friend's console, it checks every 1 hour to make sure things are fine. Their reasoning is so you can't sign in on someone else's Xbox, and then it'd be fine to play your games for 24 hours, because you can't have that.
So it'll just make you
How
sign
arrogant do you have to be?
Microsoft. What else can I say about this thing? There's so much. They keep digging.
It only goes from bad to worse.
The PR is just horrible. and I can't even begin to describe it. I don't feel like describing it anymore, so I'm going to move on to some of the exclusives they announced during their press conference.
The only reason to buy an Xbone so far?
Pretty much. First, we have Dead Rising 3, which was developed by, is that a Capcom game, I think? Dead Rising 3 is Capcom, yes. That is going to be an Xbox One exclusive.
From what I've seen, though, it does not have the same humor as Dead Rising 1 and 2, though.
Yeah,
which was kind of the selling point of those games.
People loved Dead Rising 1 and 2. They loved the humor and the style and whatnot of it. And this seems a lot more grittier and not, like you said, not full of the humor. That's a bit sad. An obnoxious thing I noticed, other people noticed, of course, apparently there was a way to like call in airstrikes using your phone. Your legit phone. Because, you know, the one thing I want to be doing while I'm playing a game is fiddling with my phone on the side, you know?
Right.
While being attacked by zombies from all sides, of course.
And then
So
you had
that's-
those random encounters when you get a text message and then it ruins everything and then you die and you're just like,
Yeah.
why?
That was a thing. Halo 5, they did an interesting thing with this. The only thing they showed about this game was a cinematic trailer of sorts, and it was just this guy wearing like this ragged brown cloak, like full body cloak. You couldn't see him, wandering through this desert thing, and this giant like alien robot monster thing pops out, all threatening and stuff, and the hood's pulled back, and you actually saw it was Master Chief under it in full armor, because that makes sense. A full armored Spartan wearing a cloak in a desert storm. So it sort of looked like it could have been like an interesting new IP, but then it was just Halo, and people were kind of mad about that. Everybody expected Halo 5 to be a thing. Minecraft will be coming to the Xbox One as well. They're a bit weird about indie games. They're like, oh yeah, we love indie games, and then they showed the biggest indie game ever, which hardly qualifies for indie anymore. And then they sort of didn't show anything past that.
It really doesn't count for indie anymore.
No.
If everyone in the world is playing it and they're making bazillions of dollars, it's not indie anymore.
Mojang is basically only technically indie at this point.
They're indie in spirit.
They're certainly indie in spirit, but yeah. There's a bit of drama with that going on. Someone announced that the save files from the 360 version of Minecraft will not be transferable to the Xbox One's version. After this, they backtracked and said they're going to try to see what they can do, but that's a bit annoying for those who like to play the console version of Minecraft, having all that work lost if you wanted to upgrade to the Xbox One. But next we have Project Spark, which is made by it's just Microsoft, it says. This actually looks pretty neat. This was one of the neater things with the conference. From what I got of it, it looked like Microsoft's version of Little Big Planet. It was really like pretty looking, and the world looked very interactable and stuff, and it looked like it had that multiplayer thing going on for it. It wasn't like I think it was only partly side-scrolling because it didn't open up to this like weird 3D scene. It was really neat looking. It was actually something interesting that I saw exclusive-wise. Not
Little
enough for me to
Big
get a
Planet
console.
made me curl up and barf. It was that cute.
I was just saying, in a
is that
good
in
way.
a good?
It was fun, but it was so cute. Oh god.
Yeah. This didn't have like the same cutesy look, but this sort of had the same like creative look to it. The scene that really struck me was when they was looking over like this big battle scene, and one of the people like made a breach up and was throwing fireballs down while the other three was in the brawl. Like neat little fights like that. It looked good in the stream. And the last thing I have to talk about exclusive live from Microsoft was Sunset Overdrive. This was an interesting one. It was looked like a zombie survival game of sorts by the guys who from Insomniac. I believe they are the ones who made Ratchet and Clank. I'm not sure about that, but it was really like colorful and full of parkour. The trailer they showed was this guy like jumping all over the place on buildings and stuff, and killing zombies like in the middle of the flow and stuff. And signing up this the Spyro the Dragon series. Huh. They're big guys anyways, so. So that's pretty much all I saw from Xbox. Some sort of neat exclusives, I guess. I'm still nowhere near wanting to ever be near this console, though. And that is pretty much all I have to say about them, and I will stop complaining about them now.
Maybe if it was like a little bit cheaper, some people would probably be like, well, maybe, but they're already doing really bad on talking about things, and then suddenly it's $500. That's a lot of money.
The sheer arrogance of them coming out and spitting in everyone's face and expecting us to bow to them is insane. They got exactly what they deserved because they did all of this to themselves.
It's only been worse since their press conference before E3, their Xbox unveiling. Every single one of their things is just a PR nightmare.
Did you mention the thing about their response to people complaining about what if I don't have internet and I can't keep it hooked up to the internet at all times?
Oh, right. I don't know if that was E3 related or not, but they're just full of arrogance.
One of their employees made the comment, "Oh, well, if you don't have the ability to have internet at all times to hook up to the Xbox One, we have a PlayStation or Xbox 360 that you can go play."
Just go buy a 360, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of not the way to handle that.
Speaking of, during the conference, they showed another, like a slimmer Xbox 360, like a new 360, and I think it was more not. It wasn't cheaper, that's for sure. Like than the 360 that's out now, and it's for no reason. They do not need another 360 model right at the end of its life cycle.
No,
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
that's kind of.
I can see all these decisions being made at Microsoft where it's like, well, people aren't going to like this. Well, we don't care. We're Microsoft. They're going to buy all our shit anyway. And then this happens.
It's not.
It is completely and entirely deserved.
Still feel bad for them because they're digging themselves such a big hole.
I hate to see it, but they're doing it to themselves. So
Yeah.
I've literally lost the will to complain about them at this point. This is probably the last time I'm going to even bother.
Until they do something else.
No, I don't care anymore. I'm not getting one. They can't convince me to get. I would sell the thing if I managed to get my hands on one. I wouldn't care. But yeah.
Okay.
That's it for Microsoft.
Do you want to move on to Nintendo now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to talk about the Nintendo stuff. There are a couple of games on here that I haven't heard of, so you two are more than welcome to fill in your knowledge of them.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in for a few.
Yeah. Now, Nintendo doesn't have a new system coming out. They already have the Wii U. Hasn't been doing too well. So pretty much their press conference, or not, they didn't actually have a press conference. They only had like 2 big booths, and they had a lot of stuff with new games on it, but there was no actual legit press conference.
Which was controversial, to say the least.
And we were hoping for a price drop in the Wii U, but nothing has been heard about that. So we've got the Wii U, we've got the 3DS. So most games that are coming out that are solely for those are aimed at those two. Now, the first one that I haven't heard of much is the Bayonetta 2, and it's for the Wii U.
Bayonetta.
The thing about Bayonetta was it was a smash hit by Platinum Games, who are well known for what they do. It was on the PS3, I think. But the problem is it did not sell as well as they would like, and nobody would pick up the sequel. Thankfully, Nintendo came along and was like, hey, we'll take Bayonetta 2 if you make it a Wii U exclusive. And so here we are.
It's a game that should have never been on the Wii. It does not fit the Wii U's, target player base, kids and elderly people whatsoever. But it is the sequel that deserved to be made more than any other sequel, and now here it is. So, yeah, let's roll with it.
I wonder why no one else took it.
I just don't think it sold well enough for them.
Okay, next we have another Mario and Luigi game. It's called Dream Team, and it's for the 3DS.
Another one I can actually talk about. I love the Mario and Luigi series. For those who don't know, they're the handheld series of sort of reminiscent of Paper Mario, the RPG games with Mario and Luigi set in that universe. and they're pretty fun. Would be the fourth one they made, and I think the basic premise of it was Peach got kidnapped again, of course, and in some relevance, Luigi is stuck in his dream state, I guess, or you have to go into his dreams, and that's sort of the setting of it. I don't know a lot about it, honestly, but it looks like another Mario and Luigi game, really crazy and fun.
These are really well written, right?
Yeah,
I'm right in thinking that.
They're good games. I love them, and they're like they have the humor that you'd expect from this sort of game.
Are they similar to that time travel game I had with Mario and Luigi? Where they had the baby Mario and Luigi?
Yes, that is part of the series. Partners in Time, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I never got through the one where you had to jump on the bookcase because I couldn't figure out how to get up there. And that is where I stopped playing that game. Because Hat was all like, yeah, I'm not going to help you.
This was like years ago.
It was.
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's how long ago it was.
I can't get on the bookcase. What bookcase? The bookcase. Okay,
Fourth
moving on.
installment, and it was great. Moving on.
I knew there's a Mario and Sonic at the Sochi, I think that's how you pronounce that, 2004 Olympic Games. Winter
Yay.
winter games for the Wii U and the 3DS.
More games for grandmas to buy their grandkids because they don't know what else to buy them.
Yeah.
No, nothing else to say about it. Another Mario and Sonic game.
And then there's a lot of Mario games actually. There's Mario Golf World Tour for the 3DS. I'm assuming it's another Mario golf game.
Yeah.
Woo. I'm excited for this one. Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. Wait, Wii U? I want a 3DS one again.
The Mario Kart 8, the new gimmick seems to be like the wheels turn and sort of form this anti-gravity thing, and you can race along walls and stuff. Did you see the trailers for it?
No, I haven't seen the trailers for anything.
Oh, well, you should watch the Mario Kart 8 one. It's kind of neat. I'm curious to see what they do about that.
I've been like non-stop working, so for those of you who are like, wow, you're doing a video and you don't even know what you're talking about, well, they know what they're talking about. I'm excited though. I mean, I don't really want to get a Wii U, but I really like Mario Kart. Like that's one of those things I've grown up with. So
This will be a game that sells systems too.
Michi,
yeah.
if they come out with a Fire Emblem with the Wii for the Wii U, we have to buy a Wii U. That's just it. There's there's nothing we can say. We have to get the Wii U.
Well, there's that crossover, right?
Is that coming? Oh, that's for Wii U?
Yep.
Oh, well done. We'll mention that in a minute.
Yeah, get into there. I just wanted to. Okay, so there's another Mario Party for the 3DS. Woo. Like, there's a million of those games.
Yeah.
Not that there's not a million Mario Karts, but Mario Kart's cool. There's Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies for the 3DS.
Yes, that's coming out in like a month or two.
Anything special about this one compared to the others?
For those who know the story, this is Phoenix Wright's return to law after Apollo Justice, the events that happened in that game. So it's they changed like the sprite-based thing into actually like 3D models and stuff too. So the courtroom looks all fancy and stuff. But the biggest thing about this game is that it's going to be digital only for the West. I don't know why they made that choice. I guess it's just easier for them, which I guess is fair. But you have to download it from the 3DS shop. That's it.
And then, moving on, there's a Pikmin 3 for the Wii U. Now, I've never played any of the Pikmin games, but I'm assuming this is a pretty
Really?
big deal. No, I haven't.
Pikmin's fantastic, Michi. Oh my
I
gosh.
I was very limited on playing video games as a kid, so I pretty much had Pokemon and Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, and that's about my skill level.
Pikmin isn't exactly it's not exactly widespread though. Like it's just now becoming known by everybody.
It was such a good game, though.
Well, do you have it?
I have both.
Then let me borrow them. I don't see why this is a big deal.
The only thing I know about Pikmin 3 is I think there were like new rock Pikmin or something. I think. I'm not sure about that.
How are those going to be different from the purple Pikmin?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen much about this, so I guess we'll see when they announce more about it.
Moving right along, Pokemon X and Y for the 3DS. I'm hoping everyone who's listening to this knows about these. They've been out for a while. This isn't new.
Yeah,
But-
we're probably not going to get them.
Shut up. But there's a new type. I just want to talk about that real quick. There's the new type, the fairy type. It's immune to dragon.
We don't know
And-
that for sure.
Well,
That was a leak on the internet.
oh, well, you should have told me that when you texted that.
Sorry.
We're assuming that it's immune to dragon. I take that back. And there's a couple new Pokemon that have been out, and then as well as there's some of the old Pokemon from older generations that are being changed into fairy type. For an example, Gardevoir is going to be fairy psychic.
We
So-
think. We hope.
It said that.
Okay.
So along with Gardevoir, there's a couple of other Pokemon that are actually confirmed. I think like Clefairy's confirmed to be changing into a fairy type.
Sylveon.
Sylveon's a fairy type. That's kind of that
Mystery
explains
finally solved.
right. That explains why we hadn't known what that was. My comment about that but there's so many other, like, I really want a bug type Eevee and I want a dragon Eevee and a poison Eevee. Why did they just make one and make it a new type? But Tybalt's response was, well, they did that for Umbreon and Espeon, so.
Well, they technically only did it for Umbreon, but Umbreon's the best one, so pardon me.
But
My only request is an Eevee that can use Fly. That's it.
I really want poison, dragon, bug. I think they'd be cool looking.
A Ghost Eevee would be so adorable.
But now we have to wait for a whole new generation for that, and we always skip a generation between EVs, so there better be more than one. They better have just not told us yet.
Did we say Meryl?
No, I only said Clefairy.
Meryl apparently will be part fairy. So that's kind of cool. It gives Meryl a use.
Yeah, it gives Meryl a reason to exist other than to be useless.
Moving on. Now these two I don't really know much about. Shin Megami Tensei
Shin Megami Tensei, yes.
4 for the 3DS, and then the same thing, but with Fire Emblem as a crossover for the Wii U.
Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, I think is how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Fire Emblem.
My only experience in the Megami Tensei series is the Persona games, which are a spin-off. But I'd love to see what the main games are all about. And apparently I'll have to because of this Fire Emblem crossover that's going to happen.
Yeah, because I love Fire Emblem, and I'm so glad Awakening was so well received because I want more Fire Emblem games. But
Awakening is what the series needed because everybody loved it. It was great.
yeah, it was. Okay. We have a new Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS. I'm assuming that's just a new game in the series.
Oh my god. Get up! Shh! I'm going to put you in the bathroom in a second. Get!
An important thing to note about this is I'm pretty sure it was this game that's called A Link Between Worlds and then Legend of Zelda, right?
Sorry?
Or was that a different game?
No, that was
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, A Link to the Between Worlds is supposed to be like a spiritual sequel to A Link to the Past, which is many people's favorite Zelda game. It's going to be set in the same universe, sort of, but with a different generation, quote-unquote, of Link and Zelda. But it's going to be like the same map and stuff, but just changed at the time.
And
A nostalgia trip, essentially.
Then we have Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD for the Wii U. So making that all pretty.
We were talking about that earlier, where it looks like they're not actually changing much about the game, and they're just giving it a fresh coat of paint, so we're kind of iffy about if it should be a full-price release.
What we've seen so far, it seems no models have changed, only textures, and lots of shaders and stuff have been added. And a few quality of life changes, but nothing more than that. So we'll see how that goes.
Then we have the Wonderful 101 for the Wii U.
This is another game by Platinum. It's been compared to Pikmin, where you have all these different heroes and stuff, and they join together to make combinations and stuff. I don't know much about it. I just know apparently Platinum's amazing, so this might be cool.
Then,
This is the same guys who did Bayonetta?
Yes.
then we have X for the Wii U.
This is apparently the next game in the Xeno series, so like a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles, which people flipped out about. It's apparently a great game.
And then
Xenoblade Chronicles was that game that was released at like the end of the Wii's life cycle, and it was like the last great RPG on the Wii.
Pretty much. It was the first game to be released, part of Project Rainfall, to get those
Alright.
3 RPGs over to America.
Ah, I remember now.
then we have 2 Yoshi games coming out. Yarn Yoshi for the Wii U and Yoshi's New Island for the 3DS.
Yarn Yoshi seems to be Yoshi's Epic Yarn, as it was.
Yeah.
It's made by the same people that made Kirby's Epic Yarn.
And
And
that,
I mean, why not? Why not?
I'm sure. It looks like it could be interesting. The yarn style is pretty neat, honestly. And Yoshi's New Island seems to be somewhat of a sequel to Yoshi's Island for the original SNES, which a lot of people claim to be their favorite Mario game. So we don't know much about that, like if that's related in any way, but it looks like it could be, and people will probably love it.
and that's it for Nintendo.
Leading us on to Sony and the PlayStation. So, since Nintendo kind of retired to the, background of E3, and Microsoft shot themselves in both feet and both hands, all Sony really had to do was show up and pick up the check and not trip on the way in or way out. And not only did they do that, but they completely slapped Microsoft across the face. The Xbone is going to be $4.99 US
Yes.
dollars, and the PlayStation 4 is going to be $3.99 US dollars. So $100 less right out the gate. They showed off the console. It's really sleek and interesting looking. It doesn't have a forced attachment that watches you while you sleep. It's got a new controller. It looks really interesting. They've got the whole nonsense about where you can record footage and put it directly onto YouTube and stuff. And
The share button.
yeah, the share button. That's all iffy, but honestly, it's not going to spy on me, which is a pretty big selling point, honestly.
It's funny because a lot of their selling points were basically, we're not going to be evil, and then people cheer.
Yep, pretty much. Oh, Xbox is doing this, then we're doing the opposite, and everybody cheers. And that was pretty much their E3 conference.
I think they got people to chant Sony during their conference.
Their stance on used games was, you can have used games. We're not Microsoft. Go crazy with the used games.
They actually had a commercial where it was just one guy handing their friend a game and saying, "We let you use used games," and that was it.
It was like a 20-second video, and it was labeled "How to Share Games on PS4" or something like that. It was
Best
the
thing
best
ever.
thing ever.
Compared to Xbone's nonsense where, download the game, pay for the game if you do blah, 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 blah. We're done talking about that. And, is there anything else I should talk about?
The PlayStation Plus requiring multiplayer and whatnot.
Yes, that is a downside. The PlayStation Plus, you need to have PlayStation Plus to play online multiplayer games, which is, I suppose, a way of controlling used games. But
No, it's not a way of controlling used games. It's just payment for servers and stuff.
like if you buy Call of Duty used, but you still have to pay for playing on the servers, or
doesn't-
whatever
no.
the PS4 one is.
No, it literally doesn't matter. You just have
Well-
to pay. It's like current Xbox Live, where you have to have Xbox Live to play online. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, but then you have the rest of PlayStation Plus, where you get a bunch of games for free,
Yeah, it's only $4.99 a month.
which isn't too shabby, honestly, for full online access and a whole bunch of free stuff.
I've heard nothing but good things about PlayStation Plus as of currently. Like, apparently you got like Infamous 2 and stuff last month, and now you're getting like Human Revolution for free this month. Like, that's how good quality that service is.
Where it's Microsoft, on Xbox Live is you can play for free, or you can play online. Xbox
Live,
Gold,
you pay to play online. Also, you still get served ads and stuff.
yes.
That's how terrible it is.
PS4, you pay to play online, and they give you a bunch of stuff. Alright, on to exclusives. Beyond Two Souls. This is the game by the people who made Heavy Rain. It looks like it's going to be one of those really cinematic games. The trailer didn't show very much gameplay, but the story was quite tantalizing. It was some girl found on the side of the road, and she's got powers, and a SWAT team comes in, and then it just shows the whole SWAT team getting wrecked, and this girl downing a helicopter with her mind. Pretty sweet stuff.
It did sound really cool.
Infamous Second Son. This will be Infamous 3 technically, but will not be starring Cole McGrath, the guy who was in the other two Infamous games.
It's got some new kid or something, and he seems to be more based on fire powers.
Is it Cole's kid? Is that what the thing is? Second Son?
I have no idea. I don't think Cole's involved at all, but I could be wrong. The trailer was just mostly gameplay showing like cool stuff you could do.
All right.
It's another Infamous game though, so that's probably going to be awesome.
Indeed, both Infamous games were quite good, aside from the whole moral choice thing. Once you take that out, great game. Were we going to talk about Knack?
Yes.
I have no idea what this is.
Me neither. Knack was something they showed originally back in the PS4 unveilment conference thing. I don't know a whole lot about it though. Like, it was just something interesting looking. Like, it was different from all the other nonsense you saw. Apparently by Studios Japan. It has a very like interesting, colorful style to it. I don't know how to describe it honestly. But I don't know how to describe the gameplay. Which kind of makes me sad.
Final Fantasy X and X-2 getting HD remasters, which is perfectly legitimate. A lot of people really like 10. Not as many people like 10-2, but one of our close friends likes 10-2, so she'll be happy for that. Then Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix.
Woohoo,
This is
finally-
what we're really looking forward to.
Finally getting that soon. I'm excited. I really want to replay the series now that Kingdom Hearts 3 has been announced.
For people who don't know, this will be Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, or Chain of Memories, the redone version of Chain of Memories. And what else?
And it was like a movie version of 358 Days Over 2. They took all the cutscenes, they remastered them, and they just made a movie basically out of it. Which is fair enough.
Yeah, it's better as a movie, I think.
358
And then
over
it's
2
Kingdom
was-
Hearts, the remix, which was the Kingdom Hearts 1 with all the special stuff and all the fixed stuff that we never got over in America.
we're
So
finally
it's Kingdom
getting
Hearts 1, everything before Kingdom Hearts 2, shoved into one thing and made better. HD.
It's going to be great. And it's going to help us tide the time over to Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'm so excited for that. I can't wait. It's PS4, by the way.
I don't know if we know if it's going to be exclusive yet. Apparently it might be on the Xbox One.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be a first, wouldn't it?
It would be a first, but I've heard something about Squeenix not being happy with the PS4. I'm not sure why.
It does say PS4, Xbox One, so...
So we'll see about that.
And
I think for sure the 1.5 remix is going to be PS3 only, though.
Yes, it is.
So
Tales of Xillia. I have not played a Tales game since Tales of Symphonia. I've missed out on Tales of Vesperia and Tales of Grace is.
Grace is F or whatever they called it.
Yeah, I didn't play those two. So I'm looking forward to playing this one. It's actually been out in Japan for the past year or so, and they're finally bringing it over to the US. 2 years. Okay then. Thanks,
Something like that.
Japan.
At least
The
they
Last
can't,
of
though.
Us. The Last of Us has already been out for a while, and it's gotten some pretty awesome reviews. It's pretty well received. It's that game where it's the father and daughter going throughout the zombie apocalypse. They're not actually father and daughter, are they?
I don't think so, but
They've
I don't
got
know
the
if it's-
dynamic. That's what the dynamic is. But it's just some girl he found in the middle of zombie apocalypse. and he's trying to keep her alive. Something we're really confused about, the last game on my list, Transistor is apparently going to be PS4 exclusive.
Can't wait
which,
for Transistor.
shocked and appalled us because we were kind of hoping that we would get it on PC since Bastion was so well received on the PC, as well as Bastion was released as an Xbox exclusive. So it's really interesting that PS4 gets this first.
I'm hoping we'll eventually get it for the PC like we did Bastion, but yeah.
If they don't, then I don't know what they're doing because PC did so much for them.
I'd assume Bastion sold amazingly on PC. Like, I would hope. It was a pretty good port, at least. But, yeah.
Well, that's all I got.
That's it for Sony?
Yes.
Alright, well,
To talk about all the games that aren't exclusives,
there's a lot of them.
might as well just go in order.
Let's breeze through this list. Assassin's Creed 4.
Woo!
Black Flag.
Pirates!
Boats.
Next.
More boats!
That's it. Oh, I guess the multiplayer seems like they're doing yet even more of that. I heard something called like a games lab or something where apparently there's communities of people who play like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, but they set special rules and stuff. So apparently they're doing something about that, like they're making that available in game. So I guess that's sort of cool.
Has the multiplayer gotten any more interesting?
It's very iterative. It gets a little bit better each time, it seems. I haven't played it since, I think, Revelations multiplayer. So I
Was
don't
it
know.
you and me who went on an Assassin's Creed binge
Yep.
and made ourselves sick of it?
Played
It was
through
like a whole night of Assassin's Creed.
Brotherhood.
Yes.
We played
Getting
nothing
every
but
last
Brotherhood.
possible thing and then just playing nonstop PvP.
It was great. It's definitely changed since Brotherhood, but yeah. How are we going to read this list? Do you want me to just go through it, or?
Yeah, just go in order.
We had Batman Arkham Origins, the next game in the Batman Arkham series, and then apparently there's a Arkham Origins Blackgate, which is like the Vita version or something like that. Vita 3DS, I don't know. Arkham games have always been good, so I guess this one will be cool too. Battlefield 4, sort of expected. Call of Duty Ghosts, definitely expected. The mocap dog, guys. We have motion capture dogs, and you get to play as the dog, and I guess there'll be ghosts too. I don't know.
On the cover, it's the mask, and I think that's the mask one of the guys was wearing in Modern Warfare 2, and his name was Ghost. I think that's where they're going with that.
Sure, let's go with that. I honestly don't care all that much. More Call of Duty. We have Castlevania: Lords of Shadow 2.
We're
Where
kind of
you
mad
get
about
to
that,
play
right?
as a vampire.
We're kind of mad about that, right?
It's just like last time, where I really, really want it to be good, but it's not going to be. And I'm going to cry.
Did you like Lords of Shadow? That was the one you played a lot, right?
It was alright. It was alright, but it wasn't a good Castlevania game. It was an okay game, but it wasn't a good game, and it definitely was not a good Castlevania game.
Maybe they'll get it right this time. We have Command and Conquer, just called Command and Conquer because that annoying way of naming things, just the original game. This is EA's thing they're doing to Command and Conquer. I think it's going to be like a free-to-play platform where like they give it to you and you have to buy like I guess the missions and stuff, that sort of deal, which could be cool. Apparently it's set in the Generals universe, and I loved Command and Conquer Generals. I spent so many hours playing that damn game. I hope they don't ruin it, but they probably will somehow. We have Company of Heroes 2. Apparently that was like another style of RTS, which people really liked. I glanced at it once, but I didn't really get into it. But that's apparently something people are looking forward to. Dark Souls 2.
Woo! Woo!
Simple has been playing a lot of Dark Souls lately.
Oh god, and I can't even play it because I don't have the FPS for it. Oh my gosh. I got back into it just so I could get to where the PvP was and actually have some PvP matches. Doesn't work. It's just always the same deal. The person lags behind me and backstabs me, and I don't even have a chance to move.
Aw.
That's really sad.
So
Dark-
yeah, I'll have to get it on the console this time, unfortunately.
The console wasn't much better. Anybody who's played Blighttown has like cried themselves to sleep over that. But maybe we'll get Dark Souls 2 and it'll be better.
Probably not.
This one's actually starting out on PC as well as the console versions, so we don't have to beg them for a port this time. And it looks like more of what we expect from Dark Souls, but better. So maybe. We have the DayZ standalone was apparently like a thing. We knew about this for a while now, but I guess it's becoming more attentive. Apparently, they made an interesting statement recently. They're going to try to get a PS4 version out along with the PC, which is really cool. I'm glad to see the DayZ guys doing well with their game. And they specifically said they would not want to deal with Xbox. I wonder why. Let's look at Xbox's policy towards indie developers and patches. You need to be published by someone, and you need to pay a buttload of money just to patch your game. Which was Fez's downfall, for example. They could not patch the breaking bugs in their game, so they're stuck with that. So, yep, not dealing with Xbox.
Thought you were done complaining about Xbox.
I felt one more mention for DayZ. Deadpool, the game. That's
Oh
actually,
my god.
I think that's actually coming out this month, isn't it?
Is it?
Is it?
I think it's June 28th or something.
Oh my god. And the best part, are we talking about Deadpool, right?
Yes.
Best parts for the PC.
Yeah, it's for like everything, I think.
And if this game does well, Deadpool's gonna be like a huge thing again. He already is a huge thing, but he's probably gonna get a spot in the Avengers. Oh my god, that'd be so great.
June 25th. So that's like in a week. Destiny was there. That is Bungie's new, not Halo. Except it looks a lot like Halo, and I have nothing else to say about it because whatever. We have Deus Ex. Apparently, Human Revolution is getting a director's cut version. I'm not exactly sure what that entails, but Human Revolution was apparently pretty good, so it's good that they get a better version of that, I guess. The only problem is we're also getting Deus Ex The Fall, the thing that nobody ever asked for. This is apparently going to be a canonical Deus Ex game released exclusively for iOS, and then PC gamers wept that day. Like, I don't know what to say about this. Why would you make Deus Ex, which is something primarily PC focused, for a mobile game? But who knows? Blizzard's Diablo 3, this console version is getting more attention. I don't think many people very care.
No one cares. No one cared when Diablo 3 came out, and no one cares now.
People wanted to care when Diablo 3 came out.
They
But,
tried. They
yeah.
tried so hard.
Disney Infinity is apparently a thing. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It seems sort of like a sandbox, toy box sort of game where you just have all this Disney stuff and you can play around with it, which I guess could be potentially neat. I don't know. Dragon Age 3 Inquisition.
Yeah.
Guys, Morgan's coming back.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer and she was there at the end.
Yes.
That means we have to deal with her kid.
Yeah, her kid.
For anyone, okay. Is it okay if I spoil stuff for Dragon Age Origins since there's the third one and there's just already been the second one?
So. If you haven't played Dragon Age Origins yet, go play it. What are you doing?
Pretty much at the end, the only way to kill the archdemon, like for good, is for Morgan to take its soul and put it into her body. So she gets herself pregnant and brings the soul of the archdemon into her baby.
Not quite right. The only way to kill the archdemon was the Grey Warden who killed it would have to die.
Yes.
but there was a loophole in which Morgan could have the Grey Warden's baby and the soul would be transferred.
Yes.
So yeah, Morgan's coming back. That's what I really want to know from Dragon Age, because she was one of my favorite characters. She was really interesting. And hopefully it won't be as bad as 2. Cough. I don't think
Yeah.
anything could be as bad as 2, honestly.
2 was such a letdown.
DuckTales Remastered.
Oh, we're happy again.
Yay, DuckTales!
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to play this game. I think it's going to be, I don't know, I think it might be in July or something. It's pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that. Elder Scrolls Online is starting to get a lot more attention now. We know that it's going to be on PS4 and I think Xbox too.
An MMO on the consoles?
Yeah, one of the biggest things, at least for sure, Sony, they're trying to get like free-to-play things to be available on the console. I think Xbox is trying to do that too. I don't think Elder Scrolls is free-to-play, but they're still trying to get like MMOs and stuff on the console. So that's cool. Elder Scrolls is starting to show a lot more information. We're learning about the world and the PvP and stuff. Looks potentially good. Still skeptical, but yeah. Fez 2 was announced, and that's all we know about it. We're going to get Magic Duels of the Planeswalkers 2014, I think in July.
No surprise.
You can pre-purchase it now on Steam. I just saw that today.
Yeah. Mad Max was shown, I think, during the Xbox conference. I'm not sure. But the thing, I don't know about the Mad Max games. Apparently people like them. The big thing I heard, though, was the armor of Mad Max was apparently something that showed up in Fallout 3 and was known for. So when people saw this, they thought it was the announcement for Fallout 4, which people really want. And they were kind of bummed when it was a Mad Max game. I don't know what that's all about, but I do want Fallout 4, so I can understand why that's a bit disappointing. Mirror's Edge 2 was announced, and then everybody...
Please don't suck.
Please don't suck. Everybody really wanted this game to be a thing, and now that it is going to be a thing, they just want it to be good.
Or to not suck.
Just average would be acceptable at this point. Need for Speed Rivals. No, haven't been into Need for Speed for a while, but the recent one was good, so maybe this one will be cool. There's lots of driving games. Forza had a thing, and
Are driving games really that popular?
Yeah.
it's along the lines of sports games, or they just want to have the yearly iteration of it. Grid 2 was another one I think that was talked about, but yeah, whatever. Plants vs. Zombies 2, it's about time.
Yay!
That wasn't a sarcastic quote, that was the actual subtitle.
I'm excited.
Really?
Yes, that's
It's
the
called
title of it.
EVZ 2, it's about time. This is going to be an iOS free-to-play game, and
No.
PopCap is owned by EA, so you can see how skeptical we are about this.
No.
Free to play with giant quotation marks.
So we'll see how they screw that one up.
But I want it on my computer.
And we have an interesting thing that people thought was a joke at first. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Because its name is a pun.
You see what they did there? Like Mott? Yep, okay. From what I saw of it, it was like a third-person, like, cooperative game, and you played as the plants, and there's like wave-based fighting with the zombies and stuff. It sort of looked interesting, but it was something nobody wanted or expected. It's just sort of a thing.
I hope it's good. I really like Plants vs. Zombies.
It could be. It might be fun just with friends, but anything's fun with friends. Saints Row 4. I haven't been in that series, but I know quite a few people are like, oh my god, it's more Saints Row. And this one looks batshit crazy. Like, you're a president who's also a superhero and stuff. I don't know. It's what you expect from this
Saints
crazy.
Row is just total batshit craziness from start to finish.
Saints Row 4 is if GTA didn't care about being silly. That's what this
Exactly.
game is.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool that that game's still doing well. Saints Row the Third was loved. Scribblenauts Unmasked. I think this is like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like Marvel stuff thrown in with Scribblenauts. I think
That'd
it's
be cool.
It's either Marvel or DC. It's one. I think it's Marvel though. It's going to be interesting what they do about that. Marvel's a bit weird about their license. I think I heard something along the lines of a lot of stuff isn't going to be in it. So I don't know. Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments. I guess it's cool to see another Sherlock game. I don't know if it's like made by the same people who just made the recent one, but I heard good things about that one, so this could be cool. South Park: The Stick of Truth.
The South Park game.
It sounds silly, but apparently it's actually has the potential to be good. I think it's being made by Obsidian ?
I know that name. I know that name's good.
Let me make sure before I say stuff. Published by Ubisoft. Developed by Obsidian Entertainment. Yep. Apparently, has the potential to be pretty good. If you've looked at the game, it looks like you're just watching the show, which is really neat. Obsidian are the people behind like Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, Fallout New Vegas. So they have some cool stuff behind them.
Did New Vegas turn out well? I know there was a lot of shit with it.
I'm not sure of the public opinion of it. It was basically another Fallout 3, but it had a cool setting. It wasn't the same game. It had its own differences. It had the same bugs you expect from Bethesda. It wasn't a bad game though. I think people liked it. I think people just wanted Fallout 4 more though. Is the problem. But yeah. Splinter Cell Blacklist. I'm
Stealth. Stealth.
Dubstep and explosions is how you stealth these days. I'm so sad.
Yes, dubstep is very bad.
Yeah, there's that, but this game it looks nothing what I want from Splinter Cell. They took out Michael Ironside, was that the guy's name? Who Sam Fisher was, basically?
I don't know.
They traded him for some other guy just so they could mocap. And it doesn't work. The voice doesn't work. I don't care if he looks better.
Oh, the voice actor?
Yeah. They took Sam Fisher's voice actor away for someone who could do motion capture while doing the voice work. And
no, why not just have someone other than Sam Fisher then?
I don't know.
The dude's 80 years old at this point.
You see why I'm so disappointed in this. I just want to go play Chaos Theory again because it was the best. We have The Evil Within. This weird, interesting horror game being published by Bethesda, developed by someone else. We're seeing more about this apparently. Sadly, the only big thing we saw about it was a live-action trailer, so that doesn't speak well to the game. But it's another horror game, so it's what you would expect from a horror game. We have The Witcher 3, The Last of Us.
Because I still haven't got to play the other one that I bought.
That we both bought.
Yeah.
I bought The Witcher 1. I think The Witcher 1 and 2 were like on super sale just recently, if not still today. I wish I could play the games, but Witcher 3 looks like it's going to be as good as the other two. I think it's going to be on what you'd expect next gen consoles and PC. We have Thief 4. We haven't heard much more about this. They had a fancy new trailer that was also live action, so they showed nothing about the damn game. And
good.
We probably
good.
No, not good. I wish they would show more about the game, but it's
Oh,
fine.
I thought you said they only showed the game.
No, they only showed the live action.
Oh, okay.
They showed nothing about the game, I don't think, really. But it's okay. It's like a 2014 game, so whatever. We have Tom Clancy's The Division. This actually looked really cool. The gameplay they showed of this was like 3 people. There was actually what they were saying as if they were playing the game. It looked like a third-person sort of had the cover-based stuff and stealth-based stuff, and it was like MMO open world. And it was set in this world which was apparently torn apart by disease or whatever thing they went with. My initial reaction to what the first trailer they showed was like, this is the best movie I've seen at E3 because it sounded like a really cool movie plot, and and it wasn't until later I saw the gameplay. But it actually looked really neat, like the whole aspect of dealing with other players in this situation and the cooperativeness. Looked pretty cool. Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs.
Applause.
We had more demo, like actual gameplay of this, and I think they actually showed. This is the first time I was okay with them showing a cinematic trailer too. They showed a cool one where it's like Aiden Pierce going after the guy we saw in the first gameplay demo at that weird like art museum thing, and it was actually really cool. It was like, and they also showed gameplay with it, so I was okay with the cinematic nonsense.
And they've shown nothing but gameplay, honestly.
So much gameplay. There's like 3 or 4 separate full sessions of gameplay they've shown,
Entire sequences.
and they keep getting more complex in like what they show you can do. I'm very curious how the game plays. It looks really complicated as a thing. There's
Yeah,
lots of-
it's probably going to be hard to get into, but it's probably going to be worth it.
One thing I think this was a game shown at Microsoft's thing. One thing I'm kind of worried about is during the Microsoft conference, they were pushing their smart glass thing. That's their tablet stuff. And it looked like there was like an app or something on this tablet which let you interact with the world like you would if you were playing. Like you could do the same stuff. I don't know what that's about, but okay.
As long as it's not required, that would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
As long as it's not required, that's fine. They can push their smart glass stuff. And I think the final game we have on our list is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Another Wolfenstein game?
Yeah, like people really like Wolfenstein. I haven't played one since like one of the old PC ones, but it looks like a cool game. It's got like steampunk Nazis and electricity guns. So if that's not awesome enough sounding for you, I don't know what you want in life. And I think we're done talking now.
Yeah. E3 was huge,
E3 was crazy.
but a lot of long-awaited titles finally.
I'm glad E3 turned out how it was. I went into it very skeptical. I was like, E3 is going to be boring and nothing's going to be told. And I'm glad I was wrong. They prove we have Sony being awesome. We have Xbox digging themselves a hole, and Nintendo finally got games. It's everything I wanted from E3.
Yay! Took long enough.
But yes, do we have any other remarks to make about E3 before we close?
I don't think
No.
so. Thanks for watching, guys.
You all have a wonderful day, and this has been Ty.
I'm Amishi,
I'm Hat.
and have a great Monday.